Now, let's say we're pretty happy with how this is looking, and we've decided we want to print this off so we can hang it in the office or share it with a worker. How do we do that? There's a couple of ways, but the easiest way when you're ready to print is to just click this print button in the toolbar. So before we do that, of course, I want to make sure that I'm looking at exactly the area I want to print. So I'll zoom out a little bit. Once I'm happy with that, I just click on that print icon, and there we go. So you can see, hopefully, on my screen. Michelle, can you see the map? I know it sometimes disappears when you click on print.
No, I can see it. It's all there.
Great. Okay, that's good. So when you click on that print, it gives you a bit of a preview of what's going to be printed. So a couple of things to note are the areas that won't be printed are shown in this dark shade. So if that was, for example, if I zoomed in too far, I can still move my map around, zoom out until I'm happy in that print view. You'll also note that it's put in a title, a legend, and a scale, a few other items. You can determine what you want to show on your printed map just by using this map options bar. And within that, anything that has a tick will be displayed. So this has pretty much everything ticked. Title, description, legend, scale, compass. I'm happy with that, so I'll close that. All you have to do to edit this is hover the mouse over. You'll see the little pencil icon comes up. Left click on that. Now you can change the title. Oops. You can write a quick description if you like. When you're happy with that, you can close it. You see now that's updated my title. The legend, that will basically show everything that is visible on the screen. Now, if you want to change what's visible on your screen, you control that in the My Places panel. Everything that has a tick next to it is being shown. So if I don't want to show my soil sampling transect, for example, I can untick that and it's disappeared. If I tick it, it will come back on. I'll just need to close and open this print screen again in order to update the legend. Or you can click on the legend and similarly untick items that you don't want to show on that legend. There we go. Once you're happy with that, all you have to do to print is click the print button and it'll bring up your normal print dialog. You can also from the screen save it as a PDF, which can be quite handy if you want to send it as an email, for example, or save it on your printer by clicking on that PDF button. Once you're happy and once you've printed your map and you just want to go back to mapping, all you do is press this X and it will take you back to your original screen. So just have a quick go at that. I'll give you just a minute or so since that's, and then we'll move on. All right, so there's a few other ways that we can save this map outside of Google Earth to share. Another one is as an image file, for example, so just a simple picture, which again will show what we have zoomed on our map. To do this, you just click on this button here in the toolbar, Save Image. And again, it'll bring up the same kind of options as before, but instead of the option to print, it's the option to just save as an image. So that can be really handy, again, if you want to send it as an email, which we'll cover in a sec, or anything like that. Another way, and probably one of the most useful ways of exporting and sharing Google Maps is to export them as KML or KNZ files. So all that this means is that instead of being just an image, for example, it'll be the same file type that Google Earth can open. So if you want to be able to share your files to someone else so that they can open it up in Google Earth and look at them and use them, you do it as a KML or KNZ. If you wanted to transfer them between your computers, for example, or back up your data, you'd also do it in this way. And now you can export as a KML or KNZ anything that you see in the My Places panel. So you can export an entire folder, or you can export just a single item within that folder. So just as an example, I think what I'll do is my entire folder. Let's say I just want to back this up. All I do is right click, go to Save Place As. That will open up this normal save file folder. I can choose between KMZ and KML in the bottom here. Doesn't really matter. They're basically interchangeable. The only difference is that the KMZ file will probably take up a little bit less space if you're showing, if you're saving a lot of maps. So that can be handy, especially if you want to email it. Either one will work. If I just click save, that's done. So that's now saved as the KML. So you can also, of course, share directly to email from within Google Earth if you want to save yourself from having to do multiple steps, just by clicking on this email button here. It'll give you options of how you want to save it, which you'll be familiar with now. You can either send it as an image, or you can send it as a KML, KMZ file. Once you've made your selection and click email, you just need to select which email service you have set up on your computer, and it should guide you through all of the necessary steps. So you will need an email file, email program on your computer to use this one. If you don't have something like Microsoft Outlook, it's probably simplest just to export it as one of the file types we talked about before, an image file or a KML, and then manually attach it to an email. It's reasonably straightforward. So that basically covers off on how to export and share. The next step that we're going to go through is how to import and view spatial imagery.